Page 34, The Elephant and the Flea. It's a kind of a fun piece. You have to be careful. There's some surprises in it. Let's look this over. It's a page and a half long, but it's got repeat signs all over the place, so it's actually twice that long. So it's like 3 pages long. Isn't that nice? Oh boy. Treble and bass clef, 4/4 time signature. We have a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 4. So if you look around, you're looking for 3 more counts. Well, this is in sections. You know, music can be in sections. I don't talk about it much. It's more in the method book I talk about this. But page 34 is one section and page 35 is another. 2 sections. Like chapters in a book, you can have sections in music. Well, each section has its own pickup beat. But if you look at the last measure of each section, there's only 3 counts in that measure. So it still comes out to 4 counts per measure. Now we got quarter notes and eighth notes and whole notes and half notes and all kinds of goodies. We can do that, right? A few accidentals. Let's take it one hand at a time, make sure we know what each hand is doing. The right hand at the beginning, you have a 4 and a 5 here, which puts you in here. I mean, they tell you it's in G position, but I prefer, you're not going to get that. That's not part of the music. You need to look at the music and the notes and figure out where you are. And that's how you do that. If I put 4 and 5 on C and D, I'm in G position. And it happens to be a C sharp. So I'm just going to use 4th finger from the C for the C, so it's here. See, isn't that lovely? And this is all we're doing here in the right hand until the last measure on page 34, you get a G. Oh, goody. Page 35, now you get an A and a B, except the A has a sharp in front of it. So instead of here, I'm going to go here. So it's 1. And that's lovely. You just got to love this piece. And then the 8th notes, 1 and 2, 1. Second line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. That's lovely. And then you go back to doing what you were doing at the beginning. It's really section A again, but the way it's written, it's part of section B. Left hand. Well, you're starting here, put you down here in this G position. It's 4. 4. And then we have a C and a D, but there's a C sharp, so I'm going to use a C sharp. Now in the next measure, that's a C natural. That's sharp in that one measure, the first here. That's only good for that measure. So when I cross that bar line, that C sharp is no good. That's a C natural. 4. And I'm just sliding off. I'm using the same. I mean, we could do a 3, but then I'm out of position to go on. I need that. So I'm sliding off here. Second line, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay. Then top of page 35. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is lovely. Okay. Put the hands together here. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that down as you play that. Get this. Let's go to top of page 35. Here. 1. Well, there's nothing confusing about that, is there? That's good grief. Just really, really slow and careful. The first full measure, top of page 34. You're here, and here, and then here, and then here, and then here, here, again. You just have to go over those 2 measures until you get the left hand's just going back and forth. It's this. That's nuts. So you have to put them together. Sure what this elephant is doing. Is it, what's going on? Now there is a repeat sign at the bottom, whether it's all repeated. There's a repeat sign at the bottom of page 34. You're going to play that again. And page 35 is surrounded by repeat signs. So you're going to play that page twice. And there's notes at the top of page 35. Above the staff, it says, second time, play the right hand an octave higher to the end. So instead of here, you're just going to go up to, just go up to the next note up here. So instead of this, A sharp B, you go to this A. You play it all up here. All the way through the second time. And below the staff at the top, it says second time play the left hand 8 VA lower. So instead of here, you're going to go down to here. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have the notes, then just stay where you are. It's good enough. Otherwise, you come down here. All the way to the end. So the hand started here, but then you go to here. Okay, that means we moved the hands. Okay, we got to talk about that. Because you can't mess up the beat because you're moving the hands around. So we have to figure out, we need to understand how are we going to get the hands moved. Well, at the bottom of the page, 35, the last measure, you're here. And you go to the top. The left hand plays first. Well, at the bottom, while you're playing this, if you get the left hand moved down, ready to go, then the left hand's in place. And then as the left hand is playing, you move the right hand up. So you move them one hand at a time. It's better than trying to move both hands at the same time. Try and move one hand at a time if you can. And here we can, because we can. So we just one hand at a time is what I recommend. Don't mess up the beat because you're moving hands around. No. Practice the hand moves as much as you need to so the beat is steady. Obviously, you got to look down and you may have to memorize a few notes. You know, memorize this. You can memorize just that much, so because you got to look down to see what you're doing, and then you can look back at the music to see what's going on. Once you have the notes and the rhythms okay, no hesitations, then I think about the articulation. The staccatos, I'm going to hinge at the wrist, a short staccato. Hold that down and do that. Staccato. And second line, then on page 34, staccato accent. Give that a little extra. And go ahead and separate these measures here. Lift up, lift up, lift, don't connect. That's interpretation, but I'm suggesting go ahead and separate the measures. Now the last measure on page 34, that's not staccato. So lift up as you play that. Now, on page 35, we get staccatos. Here, accent. Those are all accent. Good luck with that. This is all staccato, but you have some slurs. That's just weird. That may take a while to get. Yeah, that's tricky. It really is. Now be careful on page 35 on the third line down in the right hand. You get accents, but not staccatos. So it's lift both hands together. So, but see on the page 34, they were staccatos. They were short. 35, page 35, they're not, so be careful there. So, once you get the articulation in, a few months later, then we'll think about the dynamics. P, it says F-P at the beginning, which means the first time you play it F, or forte, or loud. It's going to be both hands. And the second line, you come down to soft. And you're gradually going to go back up and then come back down. So I'm doing it like a measure at a time. So on the second line, I'm soft, except the accent note takes it up a little bit. Up a little bit, moderately soft, moderately loud, and then come back down. And this, then when I repeat, now I'm soft, piano. Then the second line is the same as the first time I played it. You start soft, go up, and then back down. And on page 35, Forte, now we're loud. It's going to be both hands. I believe there's an error in the music. I should have pointed it out earlier because it's articulation. And that is the first note on page 35 in the left hand. I think that should be staccato. Because all of the others have been staccato. I see no reason to connect that. So I'll play that staccato. And we're loud. Again, both hands. That makes the accented notes very loud. Second line, you're going to echo that. It's very soft, or soft. That means the accented notes are moderately soft. The last line again is like the last line on page 34. You start soft, you up, and you back down. Then when you repeat, it's the same thing. You're loud. Now we got a problem here. As you go up the keyboard, it's easier to play soft, and it's more difficult to play loud. You have to make more of an effort to play loud when you're up high. As you go down, it's easy to play loud, and you have to be very careful. And when you want soft, you got to play really soft, because it comes out louder than you want it to. Well, when we repeat this on 35, the left hand's clear down here. It's going to be loud, and the right hand's up here, and that wants to be softer. So you're going to be loud and softer. And we don't want that. We want both hands about the same. So when you repeat it, you're going to have to back off the left hand a little bit, because it'll come out louder all by itself. You have to put a little more weight into the right hand because it wants to be softer up here. So and then the second line, when it's soft, the left hand has to be super soft. You have to be careful on where you are on the piano and adjust your softs and louds. See, it's not going to be the same level for the whole keyboard. So listen very carefully to what's happening and adjust accordingly. And it can differ from piano to piano. So you may have it done for one piano and then you go to play another one. Yeah, careful. Just listen very carefully and make your adjustments as you're playing. And by the time you finish the piece, then you've usually got it figured out and you're ready to play it. This is what happens to me. Now, once I get the dynamics, then I think about the speed. Well, it's an elephant. So let's go with that. They're not going to be really super cool. It's not going to be slow. It's not going to be fast. Elephant's not going to move quite that fast. Just sort of in the middle. A nice. Copy me. You make it yours. You don't have to go that fast. Your elephant can move slower. That's okay. Find the hardest part in it, and what can you do that accurately? Like the top of page 35. However fast you can play that accurately, that's fine. Because it all needs to be one speed throughout. And again, remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the accents, the forced accents, I'll change that slightly, and that's okay. But otherwise, you do the natural accent. At the beginning, it's 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 throughout. And then top of page 35. See, that changes it gives you some syncopation in there. But that's okay, because the natural accent should still be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So put in the natural accents. Let's play this together very slowly and double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics, but I will do the staccatos and accents, and we will do the repeat, and I will move the hands where they go on page 30, okay. So I'm going to give us 3 counts, and let's try it together very slowly. 1, ready, go.